So let's start from the beginning, okay?
Yeah.
Because you're a legend. And it's crazy. Normally, you know, when I prep for interviews, I kind of just do my own thing. And if I didn't see those players in real time, I make phone calls, right? So I made a phone call about Ron Artest, a few other players, Avery Johnson. When I make phone calls about you, I got a completely different reaction. They're like, oh my gosh. And they were so excited. And everybody was just saying the different type of influences you had on them. Because I hit up basketball heads and former athletes, and I've never gotten that reaction from people before about anybody that I've interviewed. So people are really, really excited about this one for sure. Now, I want to ask you, you have a really particular type of style. Your game is really, really different and really just exciting to watch you play. So what players did you look up to growing up? Like, did you model your game after anybody at all?
I mean, kind of, sort. I mean, I looked up to everyone. You know, when you grew up in New York City, you know, you can look up to the guys that's in the park because they're older than you know, and they're already out there doing their thing on the court. You know, and you when you're so young, you got to wait to play next. So, you know, you look up to those guys. In your mind, you like, you know what, one day I'm going to get out there and people going to be waiting for me to get done playing. So, you know, I look up to the guys at the park. Then I had guys that was in college, you know, at that time when I was such a young kid, like Mark Jackson, Pearl Washington, Rod Strickland, Kenny Smith, all these guys in college. So, you know, you get a chance to watch these guys on television, and you know, it's motivation for you. So, you know, and you know they're from New York City. Some of them are actually from Queens, and you're like, you know what, man, one day I want to be like that. You know what I mean? I want to be on TV like those guys. So, you know, everybody was motivation. And then you kind of take a piece from each of those guys' game and you try to incorporate something into your own. And, you know, and all of a sudden that's how my game comes full circle, you know? So, you know, you just try to, you know, you watch them, you take a move from each one, you know, I'm gonna go work on that. And then the next time I'm gonna work on this move I saw such and such do. And then you throw it into what you're already doing. And, you know, it just makes you a total complete player.
Right. That's really, really dope. So the process, I've seen your moves, and a lot of them are brutal. Okay, brutal to your opponent, as far as, you know, just the finesse, the way, just everything about it, like the crossovers, the passing, like everything, like the tricks you used to do. What was the process like in creating those moves? You know, was it like you're sitting at home and you're just thinking about it? Were you on the court? Like, how did you come up with those moves?
A lot of it is working, practicing on them. You know, there has been a lot of times some moves are just on the fly. You know, some of the moves I was doing, they were just a reaction to what the defense was trying to do. You know, so you know, a lot of it was just, you know, it's a reaction. You know, and the only way those things can work, the moves work, is if I already have it's like me and the ball already has an understanding, you know, and that comes from playing every day, all day, practicing with the ball. That whatever move I thought about or wanted to do, I knew one thing would happen is I'm gonna still have that ball because the ball was so much a part of me.
So you know, would you say that confidence was like the key in like your craft?
Oh, confidence is everything. Confidence is everything. You gotta have confidence to try these moves on people.
Right.
You know, it's like I teach kids nowadays, and I even teach my youngest sons. Like, you can't be afraid to try moves on people. You know, but you gotta have confidence to do it, and you can't be afraid of failing. Like, you know, you can't be afraid of, okay, yeah, you might lose the ball, or they might strip you. You know, because that's all that's telling you is two things: you gotta keep working on it, or you know what, that move ain't gonna work on that particular person. You might want to try that on somebody else. You know, a weak defender. That's just how it is. You know, certain moves work on certain people, certain moves work on, you know, other players.
So what would you say was the most disrespectful move you've ever done on someone? So like it got like a crazy reaction, when you did it? Like, what move was that?
It's so, I'm older now, so I can't really think of a lot of them. But I mean, just wrapping the ball around somebody's head, making them look the other way, or coming down with a move where somebody just blatantly goes the other way and you're going this way, or someone stumbles and falls. Those are the most disrespectful things that ever could happen. In a game.
So how did AND1 start? Because like I said, I particularly, if I wasn't doing research, somebody my age wouldn't know that. So how did it start for people who don't know?
Well, it's not so much how to start, because it all started with T-shirts.
Right.
They were doing the slogans on the T-shirt. That's what they was doing, and that took off. And I guess the direction and the timing was good for them at that time. The slogans that was on the shirt was what we were saying and doing in the playgrounds all over America. Not just in New York. Saying, so at the end of the day, it's what we were doing. And it took off from there. Then they came with the shorts. Then they were doing full uniforms for the Rucker tournament at one time. That was good. So they capitalized off the playground game, the street ball, and that was a beautiful. Like I said, their timing was so good.
Right.
And then they took a liking to a lot of guys that's playing in the parks, predominantly on the East Coast, and they got guys together and they ran out with this tour. And that took off like wildfire. And none of us thought it was gonna take off the way it did.
Right.
I know all the other guys. No one ever thought it was gonna get like that.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your reaction when you saw the traffic it was bringing in?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was it was so unbelievable, because here we are, people that we grew up in New York City where all our tournaments are outside.
Right.
And most of our tournaments are packed in the playground. But it was nothing like when we was going to some of these different cities and states. And you go to Birmingham, Alabama, and it's 35 to 4,000 people, maybe 5,000 people in their park. A park that they play at every day, and they probably don't have anybody in it but the kids that's playing. So we went everywhere, and they would treat us like rock stars, and then we were celebrated everywhere we went, and it was just an amazing time for a style of basketball other than college and the NBA.
Right. And not only were y'all influencing like kids and high school players, y'all were influencing like NBA players, college players. I was talking to my brother the other day, and he said like from y'all their hairstyles to like the way they dress, it was all after y'all. Like so like the fros, the braids, and then just trying to copy y'all's different moves that y'all did. So when you got to the league, to the NBA, because you were the one that made it to the NBA out of a lot of people that played in one. What was the transition like for you? Because like I said, you influenced a lot of people, even people in the NBA like AI, people like that. So what was the reaction to you like when you got in the league?
It was excited for me. All those players, they was excited for me. They wanted me to come right in and do what I do. Unfortunately, the difference between some of those players and me, I wasn't on a team that I can come right in. They was going to give me a lot of minutes and hand me the ball to where I could, go through my ups and downs and play through some rough patches. When my first couple of years in the NBA, I wasn't on a team like that. I wasn't a featured player. So, but they wanted to see, everything I could do, and that was such a wonderful feeling to me. Because now, everybody was on notice.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to the NBA, they was on notice. So they was like, man, he might come down and hit us with something. But my first couple of years in the league, I was like playing a little bit too basic. It was too much basic play for me. And but it wasn't a difficult transition for me as it was for the people coaching me and scouting me. They already had this perception that I was just a street ball player. And the fact was I was far from. Street ball was just something we did in the summertime, but they had no idea how much a student of the game I was and how much I studied the game. So, my whole time in the NBA, the only thing I worked on was my strength and my 3-point shooting.
Wow.
Everything else I had. They thought I worked on all this other stuff. Like everything else I had. I knew how to run a team. I knew everything. I only played one position my whole life. I only played point guard.
Right.
So I never played shooting guard, small forward. So I knew the point guard position from front to back. You know what I mean? I took care of the ball. I wasn't a high turnover guy. So it was easy for me.
So you think there was kind of like a stigma put on you as far as he's gonna have to adjust.
Yeah.
And you kind of prove people wrong in that sense.
Yeah. They had this thing about he can't play this style of basketball, what have you. They was 100% wrong. They were wrong.
Yeah,
right?
and your career
and then my first 3 years, they were like, I played in Milwaukee. They wouldn't even give me a shot to go out there and really showcase what I could do and help the team. It's just how it is. It's just the pros. It's you got starting point guards, you got backup point guards. Guys are making a lot of money already. So some guys gotta wait their turn. I wait my turn patiently, but while you're waiting, you put in that work behind the scenes. You just working every day. Some days I used to go to the local YMCA when I was in Milwaukee. I would go to the local YMCA and just work out at night. I just work out. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't playing, so that's how I stayed in shape. I just work out late. Man, it might be 10 o'clock at night. I might go to the YMCA and just work out.
So because of the stigma that was placed on you, what was your relationship like with your coaches?
Well, I was always able to. One thing about me, I understood the game. As I said, I studied the game. I understood what being in the pros was already going to be about before I got there.
Mm-hmm.
I had other people to talk to before I got there in the pros. They let you know, look, your time going to come. Might not be right away. It's there. Everybody's path to staying in that league is different. You know what I mean? Like Al Lyson is the first number 1 pick. He's coming in right away to play. You know what I mean? I'm a second round pick. Well, I might not come in right away to play. I got to make the team. I gotta, do all the extra work, come early, stay late, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with a lot of job people that's on, that people that might work at Target. You know what I mean? Before they make it to being the general manager or something, they had to start from somewhere.
Work your way up.
Then you got some people that come in, they the general manager. We hire a new general manager, and everybody that's been working at Target busting their behind, like, I should be next up for that spot. and they pass over you. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in sports. It's like, some people it's given to. Some people they gotta work so hard for it.
That shows how mentally tough you were, to go from your position in AND1 to your position there and have to work. It shows, like how resilient you are and stuff like that. So I respect it. So the aggressiveness in the NBA versus streetball, what's the differences in those?
Aggressive for the NBA is because you're fighting for your job.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? If you understand what I'm saying, so you gotta have and you're playing against the best every night. You're playing against the best in the world every single night, and a lot of us are still fighting for a job, even though we're under contract. And the money's guaranteed. They can still waive you, cut you, trade you. Right. You know what I'm saying? All that. So you're fighting. You're fighting for your job. So you gotta have this aggression and this intensity and this confidence and this arrogance about yourself and your game, so that you can remain in that league. The difference on the street ball is you showing that you're the dominant street ball player out here,
right?
So I'm gonna be aggressive on that standpoint alone to let y'all know that, look, this is my court. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard for y'all to to outshine me, outdo me. Right. It's the difference, and it's also the difference of playing in the NBA. I mean, it's playing in college NBA as opposed to playing street ball. Street ball, the fans come to see their favorite player.
Right.
The NBA, they come to see their team, their favorite team. It's 2 different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Right. Street ball, they're gonna glorify me if I had 30 and we lost. They're gonna still say, skip to the sting. Skip to the sting. You know what I'm saying? But if you score 30 in the NBA and lose, that thing is on front page news. And that's on the headlines.
Right.
You know, and it's all on social media. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's just that's just how it is.
Right. Okay, so I brought up the aggressiveness of it. Trash talk. Obviously, in street ball, you're allowed to. I'm pretty sure it was much more lenient. With the trash talk in street ball. What about NBA trash talk? Like, what were the differences? Could you show me like an example? Not show me, but kind of like show me like a similarity or a difference between the two as far as the differences.
Well, the trash talk is pretty the same. It's just sometimes, again, it's some people get away with it, some people can't in the NBA. Yeah, it depends on the player, and depends on that player's status in the league. You know, a rookie might not get away with saying some of the things I'm saying, and I'm a 10-year veteran. Or I might not get away with saying things that a perennial all-star could say. You know, in the NBA. You know what I mean? An eight-time all-star, he can curse a ref out in the NBA. Right?
So
an average player, you're not getting away with that. You know what I mean? It's really on how far the refs want to let certain players go in that league. Whereas out in the playground, we're gonna say everything under the sun. You know what I mean? We're gonna call you everything out there. It's gonna be, you know, we're gonna test to see how much you can take. You know what I mean? Before you get out your game and lose your mind and want to fight. Because once in the park, once you want to fight, well, oh yeah, we got him. He want to fight that. He's done. You know, the NBA, you get into a shoving, man. Ain't that many fights happening in the NBA? You know what I mean? It's not happening.
So it seems like it's a lot of politics played in the NBA because I didn't realize or I didn't know that even trash talk was a politic game. So playing street ball and playing in the NBA and seeing the politics being played in the NBA, did that take a toll on you at all?
No. See, that was the beauty of growing up in New York City and playing in New York City, playing the playgrounds as a street ball. That was the beauty of it because we deal with so much from a young age. You know what I'm saying? We were 10, 11 years old playing in certain parks, and grown-ups are saying all kind of stuff to us out there. You know what I'm saying? And when I went off to college and some of the stuff these people were saying, these crowds, like, man, I heard worse than that in my own city. You know what I mean? So, you know, some people can't deal with it. It's to each his own. Yeah. You know, and that's what trash talk is really about. It's to get you out your game, to get you to think about me instead of thinking about what you're supposed to do with your team. You know what I mean? That's just all it's about. It's man, if I can get you off your game, you know what I mean? It's the same thing on the job. You got people messing with people on the job right now to try to get them off their job, get them so that they don't get that next promotion.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Why she keep bothering me every day? I know why. Because we both up for that little promotion. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing in sports.
So if you could pick a player who you witnessed talk the most trash or talk the most trash to you, who would it be?
Gary Payton.
So what was that like?
Gary Payton talking from the time you warm up to the end of the game. And if you weak mind or you have thin skin, he'll eat you alive. He'll eat you alive.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So, do you think the league today is softer? Or do you think it's the same as when you played in the NBA?
It's not. See, that's the thing. It's not considered. It's not soft because it's just the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the rules. It's not the players are soft. That's how the rules are. You can't touch anyone in the league now.
Right.
Right? It's just how it is right now. You touch somebody, it's a foul. If you breathe on certain players, it's a foul. You know, God forbid you got bad breath and you breathe on that thing. That's a technical foul. It's just how it is. It's just the rules now. You know what I'm saying? The rules, even before I got a league, the rules, they used to bump you and check you so hard when you come across that lane, and there was no foul in the 90s. And then when I came and played, they took that out. You know what I'm saying? And then now all of a sudden, soon as you even get next to somebody, it's certain players, they gonna nail you.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's not the players. It's just the rule, and it's a reason for that. You know, they want the scoring to be up because they feel like that's more entertaining. Scores like 125 to 120,
Do you think
133
that's
to
entertaining?
130. You know what I'm saying? The league thinks that that's more. They think that's more entertaining. That if the higher the scores, it sells more tickets. You know, more fans and people. You know, more people will like it and watch it. You know what I mean? So that's what they think and feel, and that's
So
what they're going.
do you think more scoring is entertaining, or would you rather see more defense play?
I would like to see more defense. I'd like to see more defense. I mean, I would say I would like to see them allowed to play a little tougher defense. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like football, how everyone else can get hit, but the quarterback.
Right.
So basketball now, the defender's at the offensive player's mercy, because once he make a move and you just even bump him a little, it's over. That's a foul.
Right.
That's a foul.
So, how do you feel about flopping?
That's the worst part of the game. Flopping is the worst. It has nothing to even do with basketball. And the part about flopping is the referee actually calls that foul as if you didn't look at this man fake this thing right here. Exactly. You know what I mean? So flopping is really, I'm not mad the player is flopping. I'm mad the referee is gonna look at that and really be like, oh yeah, and give that guy a call. Like, what is that? Falling all out there, like somebody really shoves you, they jump all out the way. That's garbage. It's garbage.
Hate it so much. It's so annoying. It really, really is. So, do you think it's easier to make the league now than it was back then, or do you think it's harder now?
No, it's the same. It's the same. I would actually say it's harder.
Why is that?
I'll let you say so. It's harder for a lot of people because there's so many people playing this game. Right? It's too many people. Look at all these people in college. Right? All these Division I players. Then you got kids from overseas. They even want the kids out of high school, but now they're saying they gotta be 1 year removed from high school before they give that. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many players, but yet it's only 60 names that get called drafted every year.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The odds is almost as similar to winning a Powerball or Mega Millions.
Wow.
The odds is almost like that. The chances of someone making it to the NBA is like that.
Yeah, because there's so many.
Yeah, you got to factor in all the kids from overseas, all the Division I players, right? Even there's some JUCO players that they think should play that should come into the draft.
Right.
Right?
So you play in different parks, like Rucker Park, parks like that. Did you ever see or realize that there was anybody that could have made the league and didn't, that you played with?
You know, that's a good question. It's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say. Would I say yes? Yes, there's quite a few that probably I think could have. But then when I go and I play in that league and I think about the mental mindset that you got to have that you got to be to stay or make a team and go through it's one thing to make a team in the NBA. Then you got to be able to get into the lineup. You know what I mean? You got to be able to be a guy, the ninth man, the eighth man, the seventh man. So it's hard to say because when you're there and you realize, oh, it's a reason these players are here. It's a reason the 15th man on that team is here. It's a reason that person is there. And that's the part when I look at a lot of my colleagues and brothers and friends that played in the playgrounds and all that. I can't say no, but I could also say I'm not sure because you better be strong-minded. You better have a work ethic like no other. You know what I'm saying? It takes a special human being, player, person, athlete to play in that league and remain in. You know what I mean? Like people look. I'm not everybody that know me, man. I was never big on high on myself. I never took my own horn, but I played 11 years in a league that people thought I wasn't gonna last 2 or 3. So that's the crazy thing about it. Like everyone says how good I am. Like when I first came on, you was like, man, you're a legend. Like everybody says good, but there are people that didn't think I would last 2 or 3 years in the league. So that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to remain in that league. It's hard, man. And I played with some damn good ball players in them playgrounds. It's some damn good ball players that play in the playgrounds. And like I said, I can't say they couldn't, but I don't know if they would have remained.
Mm. What makes a player remain in the league? Because you said it takes a lot for them to remain and stay. What is it? What does that look like?
You gotta understand, it's you gotta have, like, there's some people that have a role or a specialty, right? A role or a specialty. Kyle Korver shoots threes. Well, he's gonna remain in the league because every team needs 3-point shooters.
Right.
Dennis Rodman, a rebounder, a defender. Everyone needs a rebound and defender, right? So you gotta have your role, and you gotta find your niche in that league on your team, because 9 times out of 10, you're not about to be the leading scorer on these teams. They already got the number 1 scorer, the number 2 scorer. On most teams, it's two guys averaging 20 points, 20 plus points per game.
Right.
What do you bring to the table? So for me, I can control the pace, I can control the tempo, on the defensive side, I can keep the ball in front of me. I keep the right, and people ain't just lining me up all night long. That's not to say I haven't gotten beat off the dribble or something. I mean, it's gonna happen, but not all night long. You're not gonna do that all right. I can get over. I can play in the pick and roll. I can defend the pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? So all those things, and then I was like I said, I ended up working on my spot up 3. You know what I'm saying? I ended up being able to stretch the 3. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm playing with Yao Ming and Trajan Betty, well, they don't need me to score 25 points a game. They just need me to knock down the open 3 and play some defense, control the team, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a different type of player than like what a Damian Lillard's going to bring to his team. So his team needs him to score 25 points per game, get 8-9 assists a game. They need him to do that just to stay in the game, not even win. They just need him to do that just so they can have a chance to win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just different dynamics people bring to the team, to the game. You gotta have, you gotta understand too, man. A lot of us, we go all our lives being the man on some level, and then now you gotta make the adjustment to the NBA that, you know what, you're not the man anymore.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm the man in the elementary school. I'm the man on my team in middle school. I'm the man in high school. I'm the man when I went to junior college. I'm one of the top players on my Division I team. Now I get to NBA like, wait a minute. Here's the adjustment period now. You better make that. And the quicker you can understand and make that adjustment, find your niche, then you're going to be all right. You're going to last. And you got to have a work ethic. You got to be coachable. You know what I mean? You got to understand your role. You got to be able to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. It's a lot that come with that NBA. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, when you go back to saying about those guys that play in the playground, a lot of them, can they do all that?
So do you think the main key would it be more so like discipline, contribution, consistency, but more so like discipline? Because they have to be disciplined.
I mean, but you got to be disciplined in all areas. It's a lot of areas you got to be disciplined.
It's a lot of areas
you got to be.
Somebody break it down like that before.
It's a lot of areas you got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Right? We just talking about the balance. What about off the floor?
So what remember, like off the floor?
We somehow we high paid players. We got a lot of freedom. It's not like we work. It's not like we go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning and come back home at 7 p.m. Nah. If practice at 10, I'll be back home by 2. And I got the rest of the day to myself.
True.
And I got millions of dollars. And I desire to find the things in life, but you got to understand, you got to take care of the things, your craft comes before all that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then you know how many players that their careers never flourished because they enjoyed the limelight, they enjoyed the nightlife, they enjoyed all that other stuff. And the next thing you know, they out the league. Things happen. To each his own. But then there's some players, they were able to do all that and still go out there and give you hell.
True. Right.
They knew how to do it. They still got up early on. Practice start at 10. They in the gym at 9. Already getting up 500 shots, working, lifting weights on their body. They stay late. They stay after practice. Practice over for it's practice from 10 to 12. They stay until 2, lifting weights, running, getting some extra running in. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, some of them still go out at night. It just some of them had that dedication to their craft.
Right.
You know, like I said, to each his own. It works for some people, it works and don't for others. And that's the thing. You gotta have discipline off the floor too.
Right. So, quick question. I do my best not to bring Russell Westbrook up because he's my favorite player, and I try not to be biased. But when you were saying certain things about, discipline, stuff like that, I want to get your take on it because, like I said, you seem like a mentally strong person now, and back then it seemed like that as well. So when you look at players like Russell Westbrook, who gets the job done as far as he can score, he can this, he can that, but a lot of people say he has flaws such as hero ball or something like that. What would you say about that? Like, do you think that's a problem? Do you see anything wrong with what his game is like? Because people say his mental, why they're laughing in the comments, his mental basically is the reason why he hasn't won anything. Like, what would you say about
that? His style of play. I ask people this: how selfish is he? He averaging 10 assists and 11 assists a game. How selfish is he really? So come on, that's one player that doesn't mind leaving it all on the line every single game he plays. In order to do what he's doing after triple double, in order to do that, you're going in there with the trees to get rebounds, right? You're jumping over people. You're pushing the ball. You're trying to score. You're looking for your teammates. Is he selfish, really?
Exactly.
Then if you look at the team he was on in the Thunder, he really had a lot of people to pass to. Like, we're going to be honest here. He had a lot of people to pass to.
Chris Paul has a few more pieces than what he did. And I feel like he gets flack for Chris Paul doing a good job when those pieces weren't even there when he was playing with them as well. So people don't really look at stuff like that.
I'm just saying. People say what they want to say about him. But if you think going out there averaging triple doubles is easy, be my guest. Try it in your local YMCA. No, I'm just saying. Try it. Watch how exhausted you would be.
Right.
Watch how tired. And I'm saying, even if you do it today, you got to turn around and go back to that YMCA, do it again tomorrow. Then you got to go back 2 days later, do it again.
That's a fact. Now, when you look at players in this league, and even in players in your era, do you think that you get the credit you deserve as far as the influence and the impact that you had on them? Because like I said before, when I told a few people I was interviewing you, they went down the line saying, "Oh my gosh, from my brothers to cousins, oh my gosh, like he impacted me so much," and because they're all hoops. And so when you see people, doing similar moves as you, or just when you can see the impact that you had, do you think you get the credit that you deserve for that?
Definitely, they give me credit. And if they don't, again, that's what they feel. But they give me credit, man. I've had NBA guys say I've influenced younger players than me. I've had, and that is, to me, is touching.
Right.
Jamal Crawford told me that I inspired him. He's a kid from the Pacific Northwest, and I'm a kid from all the way, as far east as you can get. You know what I'm saying? So if I inspire somebody all the way across the United States, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, and if I inspire them, man, it means a lot.
That's what's up.
I mean, they give it to me. They give it to me.
Good, good. Because that's good. That's all I can say about that. Because like I said, your impact, your influence is insane. It really, really is. All right. So, as far as AND1 goes, on the culture, do you think the sports world recognizes the impact in general? that AND1 had on the culture in the sports world?
They give us they praise the stuff we did and those with all these other guys, and shout out to all the guys, all the AND1 dudes, all the guys who played. Everywhere we go around the world, different countries, even not just the United States, in different countries, they give us the respect. They show so much love and respect to us all the time. They make sure they mention that wherever we go, and you got to also remember, man, the impact we've had on people, and we weren't even playing a college style of ball or NBA style of ball at that time, and people still glorify us. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. We still look. Do the Harlem Globetrotters still travel and go around? Right? Right? Same thing with us. Same thing with us. Right? I give my respect and salute to the Harlem Globetrotters. They've been around damn near before I was born. They still here. Right? Might not be the same. Might not be the same players from in the 80s or the 90s or the early 70s, but they find some new people and they still travel around. Go. You know what I'm saying? In the same thing that we're in that same limelight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you watch the Harlem Globetrotters, you don't equate them to an NBA style of basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you look at AND1, you look at us kind of the same. It's like, we hitting people off the head with the ball, rapping, putting on our shirt, right? It's entertaining, man. We did our thing. We packed parks, stadiums, gyms, arenas. We did what we can, and a lot of us, we can really play some ball. A lot of those guys can honestly and truly play some basketball.
Right.
Yes, yes, they can. So that's the respect we have because, they know other than just the tricks and stuff, they know we could do.
Right.
Other than doing all that stuff, they can get down. They can really play ball because a lot of us, we grew up playing hard-nosed basketball against each other on the playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Against each other.
So what would you say your biggest struggle was? And it could have been in AND1, it could have been in the NBA. Basketball-wise, what would you say your biggest struggle was that you dealt with?
That's a good question. That's a good question. My biggest struggle might have been being a total leader in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest struggle. It's hard. You got to be the leader of 15 men, 15 different personalities, and the best of the best could do it. Magic Johnson, Stockton, Jason Kidd, and the reason why these people would be in the Hall of Fame. You see what I'm saying? So for me, my biggest struggle is even though I could run the show, even though I know the ins and outs of that point guard position from an offensive standpoint and defensive standpoint, being the leader of men probably was my biggest struggle. And the only other struggle I had playing wise was guarding and defending big guards. Guarding and defending big guards. Guards that are 6'3", big, strong, athletic, Baron Davis type, Chauncey Billups type. So and that was my only tough assignments at night out there is guarding big guards and big, strong, athletic guards.
Who would you say was the hardest person you guard? You could name somebody specifically.
They are hard to guard. I can't pinpoint. See, like right now, when you say that, a lot of people that's listening, they probably thinking Allen Iverson and all them. One thing about guys like that, they're gonna get their 30 because they get a chance to shoot the ball 30 times a night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get this regardless, and they're gonna get the calls. They're gonna get everything. They're gonna get what and they're that good. For me, the toughest ones to guard is like guys like Steve Nash that's gonna get 2,000 picks every time. You know what I'm saying? Every time down, I'm getting hit on my right, hit on my left, I'm getting hit. They like the big guys setting the pick. So it's every night. Those guys are hard to guard. Chris Paul because they're getting a pick. They're getting 2 and 3 picks on one play. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's gonna ISO. Well, I know what I'm gonna take away. I know what I'm gonna give up. And if they beat me with the shot I'm giving them up, then I tip my hat to them because they're pro. Right. So like a Allen Iverson, like, okay, I know I want to make him go left. I don't want him getting I don't like him getting in the paint. I want to give him the pull up jumper. But one thing I don't want to give him is drives to the basket or foul him, put him on the free throw line so he can get 12 points on the free throw line and he get 20 points in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden now he has 32. You know what I'm saying? If he's gonna get his 32, contested jump shots, spot up threes, and then maybe he get out in transition. That in players like that.
It's crazy how much of a science like basketball is. Just like when you describe like the ins and outs of it and like what to do if this person is that and what is it really like is a science, and it's a lot that goes into it. If you don't play it, then you wouldn't realize that. A lot of people when they look at like sports, they think things are so simple, but it's crazy how much it like really goes into it, like mentally and physically and all of that.
Well, I mean, when you play long enough, you have to, you understand, because everyone's good. So how you gonna beat them?
Right. All right. So
sports equates to life. It's the same thing in life. Like, even on a job. Like I say, I equate everything to a job, to another job, another business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Target's got to outdo Walmart. Well, how are they gonna go about outdoing Walmart?
Right.
So they gotta come with they okay. And they gotta get their little plan down to a science.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just how it is. How I'm in Texas. How's HEB gonna outdo Kroger? You know what I mean? So they gotta find their game plan. Their game plan, okay, and their game plan is something that they might not be doing. You know what I mean? We gotta get this down to the science. It's the same thing in basketball. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna beat them? So I gotta know what he likes to do, what he can't do, what shots that he shoots a low percentage at. Those are the shots I want to give him. Right. Yeah, I might slip up once a time, but I can't slip up giving him his strength. If he beat me with his strength, I'm a terrible player.
Right.
I'm a terrible player. If he beat me with his strength, I'm a terrible player because I already know he could beat me with that.
Right. Now, I have two more questions about your basketball career before I play this matchup game with you. The first question is playing in AND1. A lot of players, it's like every single player in every single position from what I've seen, they knew how to score and they did score and stuff like that. And it seems to be getting more like that now. Do you see more AND1 now as far as positionless play with scoring in today's league? Is like I said, it's getting more offensive. Do you see any similarity between AND1 and more in today's league, or do you see more AND1 in your era when you played in the
NBA? It depends. If I had to say, I see more in some players.
Mm-hmm. So who plays on what players?
Not the total game, but some of the players might, the Damian Lillards, Steph Curry's, and those style of players, Jamal Crawford's, and all those players. They to me have that flair, that passion, all that to their game. You know what I'm saying? But it's positionless basketball right now. Right. They can put 5 guards out there right now.
Right.
It's unheard of back in the day.
Right. Exactly.
So Kyrie, yeah, Kyrie. Somebody said Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie. It's positionless basketball right now, and if I was coaching and they have 5 guards, I'm still putting my big man out. I'm gonna make them have to double my big man in the post. I'm gonna put one. You have to guard one in the post. You know what I'm saying? To where now they have to double team. Now we'll get wide open threes. Right. And then on the flip side, on the defensive end, then we're gonna have to give more help and support when he's playing. When my big man is guarding with him, but we'll end up capitalizing on that other end than they will on the offensive because they miss. We know darn well we can go down there and get us an easy 2 by throwing that ball in the post. You know what I mean? So what's happening is coaches are trying to match up 5-on-5. With teams when it's about contrasting styles. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to play them smalls, then we got to throw a big out to punish them for being so small. So I think the coaching has to start. Coach has to get a little better when it comes to schematics.
So you bring up coaching, and you bring up big man. How do you feel about Mike D'Antoni's system, like the whole small ball thing, not pushing defense as much in his system? What do you think about that?
He does push defense. It's just
it's more
you're gonna
offensive,
be
though.
yeah. It's more offensive defense, but he does push defense. The problem, I go to the defense side first. The defense side when you play that small is it's gonna be some mismatches. You're gonna be guarding somebody that you might not. One of your players might not be able to guard them. It's just the way it is. Too much switching. They're going to switch everything. So when you switch like that, someone's guarding somebody that they really not accustomed to guard. So what happens is, and that goes back to what I'm saying, is somebody's going to be on a big man, and that's what there lies the problem. So you either going to get pounded in the post, or you're going to get pounded on the boards. Right? They're going to out rebound you, or they're going to post you up. So it's what it is. On the flip side, the offense is beautiful basketball until the 3-point shot until the 3-point shot is missing.
Facts.
So when they had played the Warriors that time, they missed a bunch of threes and you lose. You gotta remember, a 3-point shot is still the lowest percentage shot in the game.
Right. Because
the NBA players shoot it so much, everyone thinks it's a great shot and they think they're shooting at a high percentage. No, it's still the lowest percentage shot in the game.
So, what would you say, before I play this match game with you, what would you say was like a untold story or like one of your favorite basketball memories?
Say it again?
I said, what would you say was one of your favorite untold stories or one of your favorite basketball memories that a lot of people may not know about?
Favorite basketball memory? I have a lot.
Ooh, let's hear it.
I have a lot of memories. I mean, I was on a team that won 22 in a row. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one time I played in Miami. I hit the game winner over a 7'6" dude, Sean Bradley.
Hold on. How tall are you again?
You know, huh?
How tall are you again?
6'2".
And how tall? You said he was how tall?
7'6".
How did that even happen?
I hit the game winner, fade in the corner over Sean Bradley. You know, I have a lot, man. One night against the Lakers, I hit 8 threes. Ooh. You know, like I said, you play long enough, you're gonna have some memorable moments. You know, and then of course the ultimate was making it all the way to the finals.
Right.
You know, that's once in, you know, a lot of players don't get that chance to go to the finals, and I could say I have.
So real quick, gonna play this matchup game really, really fast because you about to get out of here. I'm gonna ask you 4 different matchups, and you just gotta tell me who will win, right? Okay. So AI, Allen Iverson versus Kyrie Irving. Who's winning that?
Allen Iverson.
Why is that?
Kyrie won't stop him from scoring.
Okay. I respect that.
You're talking about somebody that can consistently get 45 and 50.
He said consistently.
If he wanted to.
Right. Yeah. Okay. D-Rose.
I love Kyrie. I'm just saying.
I respect it.
Defense isn't his strong point.
That's a fact.
So if defense is your strong point and you're playing somebody that's a killer, well, that ain't gonna work.
Facts.
That's not gonna work.
Now I'm about to give you 2 killers: Russell Westbrook versus Derrick Rose. Prime Derrick Rose, to be exact.
Damn, that's a tough one. But I would go with I would lean a little bit towards Derrick Rose. I would lean a little bit Derrick Rose because of one thing Derrick started to do better is hit the mid range. And within his prime, so if he can hit the mid range, a little bit better than Westbrook. And they're both athletic as hell, but D Rose mid range is a little bit better than Westbrook.
Okay. All right. Ray Allen versus Reggie Miller.
That's like a tie. That's a tie. And they both. I mean, I played Ray. He patterned his game after Reggie Miller. That damn near tie.
So that's a wash.
That might be a wash to me. To me, look, somebody else might have somebody else. Look, but to me, being alone and watching and playing against them, and that, I can't. I don't know. I know somebody might say Ray Allen, but I'm not sure I'm not sure. One thing about what they don't know about Reggie Miller's crafty.
Fact. That's a fact.
Reggie Miller's crafty. So Reggie could get you out of foul trouble, get you up bound with some leaning into you, pump figure. That really wasn't Ray Allen's game. Either he gonna get the three or you driving. You know what I'm saying?
That's
right.
a fact.
They both kind of shaky with the handle. You know what I'm saying? They both was kind of shaky on the handle tip. So
okay.
Yeah.
Last question. Stephon Marbury versus Rafer Alston. Who's winning?
That's tough, man. Because I hate to say any. Look, I'm saying I would hate to ever say somebody's going to beat me, but you know that's a great friend of mine, and I love him to death. And he was so explosive. He was so explosive, man. He's a tough cover. He's a tough cover, man. He's a tough cover. But me personally, I hate to say anybody going to beat me. I have the unbelievable confidence in my ability. When it comes down to New York City, I don't think anyone can really match up with me when I'm playing on top of my game. But if it's somebody I say that can and has a great shot, it'll be him.
I respect it. Okay, I really do respect it because anytime I ask someone, they always go with themselves. So the fact that you're real, I respect it. I really do.
I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm gonna go with myself, but I ain't gonna say I'm about to. Dog walk him.
Yeah, I think if y'all, it could have been close.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Like, nah.
Yeah, close.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm letting you know. Like, one thing about me, man, I give credit where credit's due, man. He's explosive, man. He's just tough, strong. You know what I mean? 6'3", and you know it is what it is. But I'm like I said, he know I'm coming at him. He know I'm coming at him. Like, it's like everybody in New York City knew I was coming. When they knew they was playing against me, they shivered a little bit. They had a little, oh shit. You know, excuse my language on your live, but they know.
Well, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to come on here. I've never been this excited.
Look at GT718 tonight. He got a statue.
Huh? Oh.
He sure do in China.
I just want to say, come on. I'm not going to come on here. I just want to say thank you for coming on my live. And just give me the opportunity to interview you because, like I said, you're like a legend, streetball legend, and you just solidified in the NBA. So it was a really, really, really good opportunity to interview, and I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. Anytime. One thing I can do, I'll talk some basketball all day. and shout out to everybody that chimed in and tuned in, man. We appreciate it, definitely, man.
All right. Well, you have a nice day, okay?
You too. Stay safe out there.
All right. Bye.